What's going on, guys? I'm Jody. This is Inspire Woodcraft. Today I want to try and convince you not to use measuring devices when you're trying to get absolutely precise inside measurements. I know it doesn't make sense. Just bear with me. What I have here is a simple box. This is the project that I'm working on. It has dimensions of 6 inches by 11 3/8. Now I already have these set, but I need a piece that goes in the middle here. I'm working with 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood. Now, the logical thing would be to take my 6 inches, subtract 3/4 of an inch, subtract 3/4 of an inch. That would leave me with 4.5 inches. Now I've already cut a block at 4.5 inches, so I can show you guys just how well that works. And it doesn't, not even kind of a little bit. And that's because the material isn't actually 3/4 of an inch. And this happens quite a bit, even with solid lumber. When you go to get a piece of solid lumber, unless you've milled it to the exact dimensions that you want, you most likely aren't getting something that's true to what it claims to be. So now the question is, how do we get this inside measurement? Of course, most people are gonna grab their tape, they're gonna butt it up on the inside here, and they're gonna try and get a reading from here to here, which makes total sense. But imagine this little box is really big and the tape measure bends and it kind of moves around a little bit and it's moving and wiggling, and we're almost kind of guessing at that point. If I don't convince you to ditch the tape measure by the end of this video, I do have one trick that can help you. That is to take a piece of scrap material, same as what you're using here, put it on the inside of one side of the box, and pull from the outside. Tape measures behave a little bit better when you're pulling as opposed to when you're pushing on the inside, in most cases. And now, the distance between here and here should be the same, roughly, as between here and here. They should at least be really, really close. And this is a really good accurate tape measure that I really do trust both inside and outside. Of course, some of you are screaming already in the comment section, if you want better accuracy, use a ruler. That would be a much better way to do it. But as you can see, hopefully, we're not exactly at 4 5/8. We're actually a little bit off one way or another. So how do we make that up? Well, what if I told you the easiest way is to get rid of all that stuff to begin with? Grab a couple pieces of scrap blocks here, know your distance here, in this case it's 6 inches, and let's take it to the table saw. What I'm gonna do with these two pieces of scrap material is I'm actually going to attach them temporarily to my table saw fence. Now my table saw is dialed in where the indicator here on the rail that has the tape measure on it is absolutely zeroed out to my blade. So I know that if I set this to 6 inches, it will cut something at exactly 6 inches. So that's very important to know here. You have to have your table saw tuned up, whatever that means for your saw, so that at least you're cutting accurately to start. Now I have my 2 blocks and I have said ruler that we used earlier. And the only reason I have the ruler is because I want to elevate these blocks up off the table a little bit. You could use a piece of paper, business card, it doesn't have to be a ruler. I don't want to set these blocks in line with the blade because that is going to cause a pinch point when I run my material through. I want to bring it back before the blade here. Once I have them set there, I'm simply going to fasten them to the fence with a clamp. I'm going to pull this guy out of here, and now I have total usability, just like normal, of my fence. All I'm going to do is set this at 6 inches, because in my case, my box was 6 inches wide. I can set that to 6 inches, then I'm going to slide this over, and I'm just going to make a single cut. See how it fits. Now this piece should drop in perfect in here, which it does. Now, sometimes there can be a bow, especially the bigger this project gets. And so you always want to test it by going up tight against the corners. And that's a pretty darn nice fit, if you ask me. We'll make sure that it fits on the other side as well. Now, if we were using a box joint system or a dovetail system, like we talked about before in the box joint drawer that we did, the dimensions of this box itself would be true to whatever their call out. So in this case, I would cut 2 pieces at 6 inches and I would cut 2 pieces at 11 3/8. But we're not doing that. We're using more of a butt joint system. So these two pieces are always going to have to be shorter than these two, or vice versa, but two are always going to end up being shorter. So once you decide which ones need to be the full length and which ones need to be cut shorter, just to make the box itself, it's still just as easy. I decided that I wanted to keep these sides at 6 inches. That means that these ones are going to be cut shorter than what I need them to be. So, same thing. I just went back to the saw with my scraps. I set my fence at 11 3/8 because that's the overall length of the box that I need to make. And then, same thing, putting it up against these blocks, and now I cut. So it's not just inside dimensions of a box or a case that's already made, it's actually how to make the box itself. But this will get you absolutely 100% perfect accuracy every single time. In some cases, we don't need that. If we're just throwing some drawers together, cabinet carcass where it doesn't matter, that's totally okay. But when we're talking about getting stuff down to really minute measurements and we want things to look absolutely perfect, and especially like even on face frames and stuff, a system like this can really, really be beneficial. Try it out. Let me know what you think. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video.